Sure.
But one thing that, that I learned from Hef was his grace. Like that's one thing you wouldn't necessarily know unless you were there with him, is that every person that came up to him and asked for a picture or an autograph, he would always gracefully take the picture or sign the autograph. He was always nice. And you could imagine how many people were all over him all the time. Whenever we go in and out of a restaurant or a club or whatever it might be, he was always smiling. He'd always shake everybody's hand and always so nice. And that's one thing that I really admired and learned, because being around so many celebrities over all the years, not everyone's like that.
Yeah,
For sure. They might get upset or pissed off if somebody wants to take a picture with them, or ignore them or whatever it might be. So I just really always admired that about him.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, that's cool to hear, because we've heard a lot of stories about Hef and never really heard that side of it, that he, because I don't think a lot about him being out in public. I always, when I picture Hef, I picture him in the robe at the mansion, like
we went out all the time. I mean, I think that we went out 3 or 4 times a week, probably. Wow. We'd have our favorite restaurants we'd go to each week. Like Thursday night was Atlantic. There's this restaurant in LA called Atlantic. We'd always go there, and I'd get my salmon and my the berry crumble dessert. He'd always get the same thing, his fried chicken. And a lot of times we go to restaurants and he would have his food brought in from the mansion because he didn't like what was on the menu. So prior to that, he would bring it in, and they would bring him his food, and we'd all still get to order from the menu, but he'd bring in his own food.
Welcome, fellow lushes. Come on in, pull up a bar stool, and enjoy some cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Well, hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm glad we finally got this thing to work out. I'm excited.
I know. Can you believe it?
Yeah. Well, that's life. That's life. We weren't going anywhere. So we figured if we waited you out long enough, we'd
eventually
win. Yeah.
And that's the thing that's like what I tell my friends too, because they'll ask me to do things, and I can't because I'm always working or something with family. I said, but don't stop asking. And then eventually, something happens and we're able to do something.
It's perfect. It
always works out in the end, is what and
it's always worth the wait.
Who's who?
The Beard.
I know, but real names.
I'm Dean.
I'm Kevin.
Yeah.
And so Dean, you're the one I've been communicating with.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Well, nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you as well.
Pleasure meeting you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Let's get started. Tonight we're joined by Brande Roderick, Miss April 2000 and Playmate of the Year 2001. And she's drinking a nice big glass of wine, as are we.
Oh, good. Mine's pink to match my dress.
Oh,
didn't think of that.
I never matched my wine to my dress before.
Nope, I've never done that before.
There's a first for everything.
I will have to start now.
Right. Are you drinking wine straight from your place?
Actually, yeah. So this is Robert Renzoni rosé.
Okay.
And it's made from my Syrah grapes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. Is that available anywhere but in your area?
No, just here in Temecula.
Okay.
Yeah, at the winery and then all the restaurants and stuff.
Oh, cool. So you're in the restaurant. That's awesome.
Is that where you're going to keep it, or are you hoping to expand?
Oh, no, can't expand because there's not enough. We've already are making as much as possible. They already ran out of the Pinot Grigio, the rosé for this year, so can't even keep up. So
wow, well, good for you guys. That's awesome.
It's a great problem to have. Yeah.
And then I'm starting my own label. It'll be the same wine, but it'll be Terra Rosé, which is the name of my my vineyard. Oh, so that's going to start next year. I was supposed to start it 2 years ago, but then work. So it's supposed to be now next year.
Okay. How long have you been in the wine business? How long have you had the winery?
Well, I have a vineyard. I don't have a winery.
Okay.
My boyfriend has a winery. But I've had my vineyard now. I'm going on my 4th year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And what got you started in that?
I grew up in wine country, in Northern California wine country, and I always wanted a vineyard, and it was kind of a lifelong dream. And when I found out about this wine region in Southern California, I was like, well, gosh, it's just like home. Now I can finally fulfill my dream and have my kids grow up on a ranch and, you know, the whole 9 yards and made the move to do it. So I've been here now almost 6 years and my vineyard's been here almost 4 now.
Very cool. Living the dream.
Yeah, I feel like I am living my dream for sure.
It's very cool.
Well, it's nice to have the dreams and then continue to knock them off because you've been busy. You're definitely all over the place. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely a person that likes to stay busy for sure.
So how did your experience with Playboy get started? Were you on Baywatch first or were you in Playboy first?
They both pretty much happened at the same time.
Okay.
I was getting cast on Baywatch basically when the magazine was coming out.
Oh, okay.
There's two simultaneous things because the people over at Baywatch really loved Playmates. And so
go figure.
The fact that I auditioned and everything's great and had my call back, but then they found out that I also was going to have, you know, an issue coming out, which just, you know, was all that more exciting for them. So it all worked out, you know, really good, but it was all
hired
at the same time.
Yeah.
Were those in your dreams to be an actress and Playmate? Because we've had some Playmates on that had said they wanted to since they're little girls and others just happened into it.
Yeah. I mean, for acting, for sure. Ever since I was a little kid, I was doing little plays and performances and charging the neighbors to come watch our performances. So I always, you know, loved acting and performing. And then as far as Playboy goes, I think it was kind of instilled in me because I was named after a Playboy model. Oh. And so I always knew that my mom, they were very open about everything. And even so that when I was in 5th grade, you know, the teacher was asking what everybody wants to be when they grow up. And I said, I wanted to be a Playmate. And at that point, that was very interesting for her to hear, I'm sure.
Do mom and dad get called into the office for that one? Like,
no, you know,
parent teacher conference.
Back then it was a little different. In fact, my 4th grade teacher, because I'm sure the 5th grade teacher must have told my 4th grade teacher, she ended up calling me a little slut behind my back, like that little slut. Yeah, wow. It's like things were so different back then, right? You could never get away with that now, but
right?
No.
Her name was Mrs. Silvera. She's probably not even alive anymore.
Well, I'm sure she'll watch
it. She was old back then.
Right. Yeah.
Her.
Yeah.
Which Playmate were you named after?
Well, her name was Brande. And she was just a Playboy model. She wasn't a Playmate.
Oh,
and I still, you know, have tried looking for this model, and we've had a hard time trying to find something because they didn't have all the magazines on the internet or any of that kind of stuff. But my mom was overdue from being pregnant. She walked all the way to my uncle's house from her house, which was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 miles, trying to get things going. And when she came in, she said she grabbed a glass of water, went to sit on the couch, and on the table was a Playboy. And so my mom picked it up and she was looking through it, and there was this gorgeous, beautiful blonde girl, and her name was Brande, spelled just like mine, which, as you know, you've never seen that. You don't ever see that.
Right.
And she's like, I want my daughter to look like that. And so she named me that Brande with the same exact spelling.
That's cool. So it wasn't even your dad who just happened to be looking through the magazine. It was your mom.
Then. No, it was my mom at my uncle's magazine.
Yeah.
But my name was going to be Tony. And then right then, and when she was just from that walk being overdue, changed it to Brande from that Playboy magazine.
Wow, that's a cool story.
I think it was. Yep, it was meant to be.
Right.
Meant to be.
So what is the actual story then? How did you get discovered by Playboy?
I went and did a test shoot. And the first test shoot I did was back when they did Polaroids. I'm sure you've heard that story before from some of the girls. But my real test was in the studio with Stephen Wada. And I remember they brought in a bottle of champagne for me, which helped, you know, calm the nerves. And then once I had that, I was like, woo, let's have fun. And it was great. I actually really, really love my test shoot photos. Like I would have rather had those probably than my Playmate of the Month photos.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
And where do the test shoot photos go to dye? I mean, are they?
I had seen them before, like in one of the special editions somewhere.
Oh, sure.
But not. I think I've only seen them one time, so
Okay.
I don't know where they went.
They're in a file
They're
folder somewhere.
Exactly.
Say that the amount of film back and then from all the Playmates and all their test shoots.
Gosh,
Gosh,
so
they must have had a
much.
storage.
Well, didn't we hear something talking to one of the Playmates about, you were saying the Polaroids? Wasn't there like a room full of them just pinned up on the wall or something? Or I think somebody told us
she
about,
did.
Yeah.
A
I
room
don't
of
remember.
the room of the ones that didn't make it.
Oh, the ones that didn't make it. Yeah.
Oh,
But
is
she would
that
be in
true? No, I don't remember that, but I have a bad memory, so it could be. I just don't remember.
And I got to say, the champagne and the woo hasn't changed,
Yeah.
because one of my favorite things that I've seen from you is you and your boyfriend getting drunk and eating wings.
Oh, yes, with the 40 ounces. Yeah.
I was laughing so hard watching that, because we did a similar thing
with hot wings
for an episode. And
Wow.
and did like 10 of them or whatever and got drunk. And so,
Yeah. So you know what it's like. Did you go zip lining too?
no.
Nope, we did not.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have. We shouldn't have.
No, we were not able
But
to
that
do
was
much of
funny. That was a funny I think it was like bloopers that showed it. One of your YouTube videos.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
Outtakes or something. I think you put out there.
You
That was fun.
have you kind of abandoned the YouTube thing for now? Because it seems like there hasn't been a lot of new content, and I'm
I
assuming
know.
you're obviously busy.
I enjoyed it so much, and it's so much fun, but it's just hard to find the time. As you know, it's like how hard it was for us to get together. It's definitely hard to find the time. However, Robert really wants to do a fryer, those fryers or whatever, and do some fried chicken and French fries, and do something like that, of course, with beer or wine or something.
Something.
They go, with each other. We could even make our own chicken wings, because he's the chicken wing master. And makes the best sauce ever. So, we definitely want to do it. It's just a matter of finding the time.
Yeah, you guys are great on camera together. So, it's very entertaining watching you guys. I like the blind wine tasting too. So,
oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
they're all fun.
Didn't you the best bottle of wine that from your pick was like a $2 bottle of wine or a $5 bottle of wine?
Yeah, it was like the cheapest one, I think.
Yeah, which is great to know. Like you never know. You're gonna run into some good ones.
Robert always says the best wine is the wine that you like.
Isn't that the truth?
It's like you can't say, "Oh, this is the best wine," or "That one's the best." It's the best one is the one that you like. So
cheers to that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep. What are you guys drinking?
We are big Dave Matthews Band fans, so we have his Swan Crush, which is one of his red blends
from the Dreaming Tree Winery.
Where's his winery at, or where does he make his wine?
I think I know that Blenheim is in Virginia. I don't know if that one's in Virginia. He owns a couple of them, so I don't know if that's in Virginia as well. I don't know.
Maybe.
I think that might be in California.
Nope, this one's in California.
Right.
Campo.
Huh.
Yeah. ACAMPO. So So we're biased to the brand, obviously, because of our love of Dave Matthews. But so when I go in, it's 6 bottles. You get a discount, so I buy 6 bottles at a time, and I know what I'm getting.
There you go.
Best wine, because that's what I like.
Exactly.
So where do you go? Where you get? Is it Albertsons? Where if you buy at least 6 bottles, you get.
There's some liquor stores around here that will give you.
It's a liquor store that does that. Yeah, we have grocery stores that do that. As long as you buy at least 6, you get your 10% off or whatever it is.
Perfect.
It ends up being worth it because you're going to drink it anyway, so you might as well buy it all and get your discount.
Yeah, you got a long time before it goes bad, right? Like you're good. So at least with red, I don't know how white. Not as much, but
I know, but 6 bottles. Come on.
That's a weekend.
Be gone in like 2 days.
That's a weekend.
Same with a dumb question. How long can an open bottle of wine last? Well, it doesn't last a night.
A couple hours. A couple hours probably.
Once you've opened it,
going bad. Yeah.
Haven't you heard the thing, corks are for quitters? The saying corks are for quitters.
I haven't heard that, but that's good.
I do like it now. Yes.
So to answer your question, whites are not better if they've been left there for a long time. Like reds, you want to let it, sit for a while, but whites, you have to drink it like that year. Like for instance, like this is a 2020. However, it's like ready to go out. Like you definitely want to be drinking 2021 right now as far as whites and rosés.
Oh, okay.
You don't want those. You don't want an old white or rosé. Like you don't want to be drinking it. Like when you go to the restaurant and let's say right now it's 2022, do not buy any white that says 2019. You don't want that. Okay. So you have close to the year that you are. So if it's 22, then you want a 2021 or, 2020 would be fine.
Okay.
But, the newer, the better when it comes to whites and rosés.
But if it's on clear,
we're learning stuff.
If it's on clearance and you're trying to impress a lady and she doesn't know wine,
then, but what if it tastes bad?
I was just thinking the same thing. You'd be like, this is $100 bottle of wine,
right?
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I can't say no.
Right.
That's so cool. So you wanted to own a winery, and your love for wines started immediately. And you educated yourself, or?
No, I grew up and I was, shoot, you saw me. I was drinking King Cobra Old English 40-ounce beers. So I was, and my first wine was a white Zinfandel. Like that's just so gross. So that's what I liked for so long. So I didn't really start becoming a wine snob until and I'm not a wine snob, obviously. I like 2 Buck Chuck too.
Yeah.
But I'm learning about wines when I started dating Robert and living here in Temecula. That's when I really started learning about the whole process.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So
you're always a bit of a wine drinker, but now you're educated in the wine.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Definitely.
And how long has your boyfriend been doing wine? Has he been in business his whole life?
Their whole life.
Yeah.
It started with his great grandfather great grandfather, I think. Yeah. Like 132 years or something like that. Yeah.
That's cool.
Business.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he started learning from his grandfather when he was 6 years old about making wine.
Wow.
And that's all he's ever done is into the family business of making wine?
No, he had a detour and went to Hollywood and was in a band for 10 years, a rock star guy.
Yes.
the rolling of the eyes. I always
Well,
at least you did it.
Well, it's not my kind of music. He's like did that like alternative rock stuff or whatever. Sure. That's just not my jam, but that's the kind of stuff he does and likes.
Does he still play music?
Yeah. He's got a little local, friends band. They jam like once a week and have fun.
Cool. Does he ever like play live out at the winery or anything? I was
going to say concerts at the winery.
When we go there, sometimes they'll get him up there with whoever's playing. We'll just say, Robert, come up here for a song. And then he's always good for, he always plays Simple Man, which I love that song.
Yeah.
And then he'll play like a Doors song or something, which I love the Doors. So
cool.
He'll play a 3 Doors Down song, which I do like them. I like 3 Doors Down, speaking of alternative rock, he sings one of their songs, but
cool.
Yeah. Nice. It is fun.
So speaking of rock stars, I have to ask, cause I'm a big Motley Crue fan, and you were on The Surreal Life with Vince Neil.
Yeah.
And don't tell me he's an asshole, please. Tell me he's awesome.
We want the truth. We want the truth.
But
do you really want the truth?
I do.
I do, even if it's bad.
I love Vince. He's a sweetheart and he's adorable. I'm sure there's been incidences with people and when he's gotten, drunk or whatever, and done some things he shouldn't.
Yeah,
like all of us.
Sure. But I have not really witnessed that because he was never like that with me. He was just like a big brother, and I love him. He's great.
That's awesome.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yes.
Yes. Do you keep in touch at all?
No, you know what? Because when we met, he was engaged to Leah. I don't know if you ever remember who she was. And then I went to their wedding, and Leah and she was pretty much the glue, And once they got divorced, we lost touch, and he was single and got into like kind of a bad party mode there for a while, because she was kind of keeping him,
a little bit in check,
on the straight and narrow, But when they got divorced, I think there was just we just lost touch after that.
It happens.
Well, things are going well for him this summer. I know that, because
I'm gonna go see him play. I'm hoping in September when he comes here to LA. I'm hoping that's with Def Leppard and of course with, as you know, Bret Michaels. I also was on the Surreal Life with, I'm not the Surreal Life, Celebrity Apprentice.
Okay.
So that'd be kind of a fun concert to go see all my buddies.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
So you're on a lot of those reality shows. Which one did you enjoy the most?
I liked them all for different reasons.
Okay.
The Surreal Life was a lot of fun. We became like this little family. And we were the very first ever celebrity reality show, which is kind of exciting. We kind of spearheaded that genre. But it was just, we all were just like a little family. It was awesome. And then Celebrity Apprentice I learned a lot. It was really cool. It was very challenging. But I learned a lot, and I pushed myself and learned that I can really do more than I thought I could, really.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you did that twice. You were on the All-Star season as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
enough to come back. Cool. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I was a big fan of the Surreal Life. Out of all the reality ones, that was mine that I would watch. So.
Well, that was kind of the beginning of that era, of having celebrities on reality, like seeing them in their real life and their habitat, and they didn't have anything like that prior. There was never anything. The closest thing was Real World or whatever, and that had no celebrities.
Right.
You're right.
Survivor and all that kind of stuff. It just had started, really. The whole reality world.
There's my mind not working, or my memory.
Well, yeah, and you don't think about it now, because now
it all blends.
Celebrities are doing Instagram lives all the time. You're always, you're always in their lives, if you want to put it that way. So it's weird that, it got started back there and you were part of it. So who'd have known what we'd be doing with.
There's a lot of who would have knowns.
So from April in your Playmate of the month to the Playmate of the year, how much of a process was that? And do they nominate you for Playmate of the year?
What do you mean? Do they?
Playboy have.
Yeah, like how does it work? The process? Well, remember, I'm ancient. So back in the day, they actually had a phone number in the magazine. So you'd call in and put your vote in. So it was derived from a three-step process. So the fans would call in and vote, and then Playmate Promotions and the studio would put in their vote, because they're the ones that'll have to be working with the Playmate, traveling all over the world, right? And they want to put in their vote of who they think could speak good and present themselves well and present the company well. And then there was Hef. He was the third part of the vote. So between those three, that's how they would get their vote.
Okay.
Do you think
it was a given, because at that time I was on Baywatch. So for them, it would give them more press. So obviously it was an easy choice. Sure. It was a good choice for them. But.
Do you think there was ever a time when the two votes went for one, and then Hef was like, no, it's going to be this one?
Just thinking the same thing.
He was really pretty good about listening to everybody.
Yeah.
And what they felt was best, because he's, listening to the fans. Obviously, he was all about doing what's right, for the company and for the magazine. So I would think it would have to be something pretty rare if he dismissed what they had to say.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't think, because if you go back and think of all the Playmates of the years, I don't think there was any real duds.
There definitely was not.
I'm going to say no.
I don't think so. So yeah.
Especially, let me just say, I'm almost 50 years old, being from that area, definitely not during the 90s. There certainly wasn't. So I know that. So.
We had, the 90s were great years. Yeah. Yes, for sure. Yeah. Lisa Gergens and Jodie and Patterson, the whole, lots of good ones.
How was your shoot for the gatefold? We've heard the stories of having to stand in poses for hours on end and to get the perfect shot. How did yours go?
about the same. You're standing in that position for a long time, and it gets very daunting, and you get sore, and it does take a long time. And the whole time, I remember when Hef saw my pictures, he's like, I don't like any of these. Where's your smile? You have the best smile in the world. Where's your smile? I'm like, I was in pain the whole time. So it's like every picture, like I'm like this, and he's like, we have to reshoot. Like, you look like, where's your beautiful smile? And I'm like, holy shit. So it's kind of like in my gatefold, like, even though I smile, you can kind of tell it's a little straining.
I'm gonna have to go relook now.
Take the picture.
Hurry.
But all my other pictures are all free, and I have fun, and it's all whatever. But that gatefold picture, it's like, it looks like a tight smile.
Okay.
Yeah,
We've heard so many stories. I don't remember who told us that they like passed out during theirs. And...
Right.
Oh, I believe it, because you're not really eating because you don't want a belly.
Yeah,
So,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And you lived in the mansion, boy, for quite a while, or how long were you in the mansion?
Yeah, a couple years. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any crazy stories from the mansion?
Gosh,
or just fun. Just
crazy
fun stories.
But on my 25th birthday, I do remember Sandy and Mandy throwing William the butler into the pool with his full-on garb. Poor guy. Like, they put up with so much shit from us girls. I do.
Oh, I'm sure he hated
that. And like, just thinking, oh yeah, like he actually has an extra set of butler clothes. Like, I don't think so. That was, something, but for me, it was more, I don't know about crazy stories, but it really was just like a fantasy world, You're upstairs and you press 0 and you can get whatever you want. I want a chocolate shake, or I want spaghetti, or would you bring me up a chocolate chip cookie? Whatever it is, just pressing 0 and you get whatever you want. I mean, that's pretty cool. And every Sunday, you get to watch the newest, coolest movies before it even hits the theaters. And, every weekend having everybody over that, people that you've always watched on TV and in films. And, it was just always something very exciting, and having my birthday parties at the mansion, had like 3 of them there, and just fun, getting to do whatever, you wanted, and just having a good time living out the dream.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Any during all these parties, were you ever starstruck? Was there anybody that? Or by then you were no big deal.
It's back then. I'm sure I was. It's like now I don't ever get starstruck, but it was kind of funny because I went to a party and I don't ever get starstruck. And Steve Menaucci was there, the coach of the 49ers, Steve Mariucci. And I was like, oh my God, like I was like so excited. Like, I don't care about meeting, Brad Pitt or whatever, but this is Steve Mariucci. Like, I was like, oh my God. And so that was kind of exciting. Hi. And Joe Montana. Hi. It's like being a huge 49er fan.
Yeah, that one I get. I'd be starstruck meeting Joe Montana.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. And I got him we did an autograph signing together at the same place. And so at the autograph signing, I had my huge 49er. Have you seen my picture where I'm in the 49er outfit with the football? So I had the huge poster there because I had it there when I was doing my signing. And since he was there, I brought it in and he signed it for me. I'm like, he said something like, somehow you managed to look better in that jersey than I did, or I do, or something like that. It was really cute.
He's smooth off the field too.
Yeah.
Joe
Cool.
So that was fun. That's actually hanging in Robert's garage right now. But I've met everybody. If you mention one person, I probably met him. But I'm trying to think if there was anyone. No, because back then, you like try to be cool.
I was gonna say the real question is, was anybody starstruck to meet you?
I don't
come
know.
on.
I don't know.
All of them.
Maybe
all of them.
You can ask Leonardo DiCaprio, George Clooney, Nick Cage.
Well, to be fair, they were all competing with the coolest guy on earth. Hef was in the room, so
yeah, that's true.
And we are obviously big pro Hef in this studio.
Absolutely.
We always like to hear your, if you've got a favorite Hef memory, kind of a half story to,
Oh gosh, these are hard questions. I'm old. I did too many drugs and alcohol in my life. My brain is fried.
Wait, come on. I'm on drugs and alcohol right now, and I'm coming up with good questions.
Oh my gosh. I wish maybe as we talk, something will pop up.
Okay.
But one thing that that I learned from Hef was his grace. Like that's one thing you wouldn't necessarily know unless you were there with him, is that every person that came up to him and asked for a picture or an autograph, he would always gracefully take the picture or sign the autograph. He was always nice. And you could imagine how many people were all over him all the time. Whenever we go in and out of a restaurant or a club or whatever it might be, he was always smiling. He'd always shake everybody's hand and always so nice. And that's one thing that I really admired and learned, because being around so many celebrities over all the years, not everyone's like that.
Yeah,
For sure. they might get upset or pissed off if somebody wants to take a picture with them or ignore them or whatever it might be. So I just really always admired that about him.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, that's cool to hear, because we've heard a lot of stories about Hef and never really heard that side of it, that he, because I don't think a lot about him being out in public. I always, when I picture Hef, I picture him in the robe at the mansion, like
we went out all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that we went out 3 or 4 times a week, probably.
Wow.
We'd have our favorite restaurants we'd go to each week. Like Thursday night was Atlantic. There's this restaurant in LA called Atlantic. We'd always go there and I'd get my salmon and my the berry crumble dessert. He'd always get the same thing, his fried chicken. And a lot of times we go to restaurants and he would have his food brought in from the mansion because he didn't like what was on the menu. So prior to that, he would bring it in and they would bring him his food and we'd all still get to order from the menu, but he'd bring in his own food.
And when you're Hef, you get what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And one cool fun thing was we always went, we got to go to Disneyland. So when you go with Hef and you go to Disneyland, you get to go to the front of every line and go on every ride. And then we went into that, whatever that private club is. I don't know if you guys know Disneyland or whatever. You have to be like a member and it's like very exclusive and it's right above, what's that restaurant called? Bayou, the Blue Bayou. Anyway, it was like the special club and we're like, oh my God, we got to go into that. And people that are watching and that know Disneyland know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
And that was really neat to be able to do stuff like that.
Cool.
Definitely had your perks with front of the line. And I guess if I'm standing there and I'd be like, who the heck wants to get in cut? Oh, Playmate? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And then we went to the Cannes Film Festival and rented a yacht and got to do that whole world and walk the red carpet with everybody in Cannes, which was just an amazing, crazy experience. Because we did red carpets all the time in LA, but nothing's like the red carpet in Cannes. That was insane.
Do you have a favorite place that you visited while you were promoting for Playboy? Favorite, part of the
that's probably my favorite. The south of France, being at Cannes. On our boat, we had, like Matthew McConaughey and every celebrity you could imagine on our boat and going to all those events. It just was so beautiful, and being on the water. That was probably that tops it. But I also went with Daylene Curtis to Japan. Her and I went to Japan and did some promotion, and that was very exciting. Oh my gosh. That's like New York on steroids. I don't know if you guys have been there or not, but that was a very exciting trip. They have these along these buildings, these big glass enclosures that hang over the streets. And they are these karaoke rooms, which is really big there. And so we go into these fun karaoke rooms and have fun. And
do you have a karaoke song?
I usually do Friends in Low Places. That's kind of my go-to.
All right.
That's a fun song to sing with.
That's
for sure.
Yeah, it's a good party tune. Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, Daylene Curtis is one of my favorites. She's so gorgeous.
She's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've tried messaging her to get her on, and we haven't had any luck yet. So put in a good word. She's I was a big fan.
Yeah,
we all have our favorites.
Well, right. I could say that about just about all of them.
Which one's in front of me? That's my favorite.
Right.
Smart man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I said one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But I'd like to touch on your acting, because you've been in a lot of things, a lot of shows. you're
Mhm.
continually on. We'll get into what you're currently doing too, because it seems like a lot and expanding. But
Yeah.
back in the day, a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows. I'd like to ask about Out of Control.
Oh, well, Out of Control.
How
is
did that
about-
come about? And
That was because I was doing Baywatch, and then the India's wanted this movie. They wanted to do this a film with an American actress, and this was going to be the very first ever American actress to do a Bollywood film. And they originally wanted Pam Anderson because Baywatch is huge there. I mean, it's like whatever, it's huge worldwide.
it's
And
worldwide.
she was not available. I don't remember what she was working on. She was working on another film. And so I don't know how I got brought into the mix or how I was submitted or how it happened. Maybe because they were like, who was the most recent on Baywatch or something. But they called and I got it and went to Switzerland, India. We also shot in New Jersey, but I was the very first ever American actress to do a Bollywood film. I even sang in Hindi and had to do dialogue in Hindi.
Oh, wow.
And it was a crazy experience. I mean, they work you to the bone. Like, I think we worked like 18-hour days. Like, that was the norm. And I felt so bad for like the crew and like the hair and makeup, because they obviously, as soon as we're done, I get to go to my room and at least sleep. They would still be breaking down and getting everything and putting everything away. And then they'd have to be there before I got there to do everything and set everything up. So they had even less sleep than I did. And I was exhausted, but,
and you were in all the scenes.
Yeah.
Darn near everything.
Yeah.
So that, and I was going to ask if that was truly you singing. So that was you singing.
Oh, well, no, that's not like my voice. No, I lip synced it.
Okay.
No, so that's the thing with Bollywood films. This is what's so different from our film. So it's total Milli Vanilli. They like all the actors that are singing in all the films, they're not really singing. They have actual real singers that come in and do all the movies. So it's like this known thing that the actors actually don't sing. It's like all these professional singers come in.
Huh.
You just lip sync it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like a lot of it was just mini videos, almost like mini music videos.
Yeah, and that part for me was fun. Like I love
it seemed like it.
The routines and doing all the stuff and then singing in Hindi, doing the whole thing. Yeah, that was fun. Definitely.
It looked like you were having fun.
Yeah, I did.
Or if not, you're, an awesome actress.
I don't know.
But
so you saw it then.
I did.
Okay.
Well, yes.
So then there was, do you remember? So there's the scene where I'm basically half naked in the snow doing one of the music videos. And when we did that, that was at the top of the Swiss mountains, the Alps. And it was freezing and we had to go up this gondola to get to it. And they brought like a bottle of brandy, like whiskey, up there. And so I'm like down in it because I literally thought I was going to die. I am in the snow barefoot, nothing on, trying to do all these routine. And by the time I go down the gondola, I was passed out. Like that's how much brandy I drank trying to warm up. Yeah, that was very interesting.
The struggles you make for your art.
I'm so glad you asked about that movie. That's great. That's a great story.
I figured it was a heck of an experience, if nothing else.
It definitely was.
Especially that early in your career, and
yeah.
Yeah.
I would say definitely different than shooting a film here in America.
Have you done any more foreign films? I'll call them, I guess.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say foreign films, but when I did Dracula Ascension with Jason London and was it Roy Schneider was in that, a bunch of people, we shot that in Romania.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
And so that was kind of, almost a similar experience in the sense that we were shooting and it was like 0-degree weather and I had to fall out of a window. And then, so I'm laying on the pavement, cold, freezing with all the sticky blood all over me. And then they dug a real grave and then they threw me in the grave. And then I had to get dirt threw on me, while it's like freezing cold with blood on me. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting buried alive. Oh. So it seems like all these crazy things happen like in different countries.
You're right.
It seems like it. I think they're allowed to do.
You can
more
get away
things.
with it because you
Yes.
can't just run home. You know, they're like, we got her now.
It's true.
I don't know what it is for the movies. Like if it's like an OSHA thing that in this country isn't going to allow, the actors.
Right.
to-
That's true. That's probably what it is.
Right.
Yeah. Like they're not having a SAG rep run to set, in
That's
Romania.
Right. You're on your own.
Yeah.
And that movie I haven't watched yet, but it's on my list because I love Roy Schneider. He's one of my favorite actors from the 70s and through.
Yeah. I think he was in the even though we shot all 3 movies, so there's three of them. We shot them all at the same time, and I was in I think the second one, and I think he's in the third one. Rutger Hauer was there also.
Oh wow.
And I can't remember if they were in the one I was in or one of the other volumes, but they were all there.
Okay.
Craig Sheffer was there. He was for sure in my scenes.
Okay. Did you have scenes with Roy Schneider?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
No, he was the priest. One of the priests, doing whatever. Jason Lee was for sure in my scenes. He was also playing a priest.
Oh wow.
Jason Scott Lee.
Okay.
Scott Lee. But yeah, it was fun. We had a great time because there it's you'd go out at night, they have a casino, and you would just I remember you can't do things like this anymore. I was so stupid. But we went out drinking one night, and I went to the casino, and I met this couple, and I literally, we wanted to keep the party going, went back to their place, so just the 3 of us, and we danced and drank, and then went home. I'm like, they could have killed me and like drugged me, and sex trafficked me. Like, how stupid, like I did you do stupid things when you're young. That was so dumb, but we really didn't have like the major internet back then where you knew that people did stuff like that, and now we know what could happen. Thank God they were just a nice, fun couple excited to party with a celebrity. Thank God.
Right.
They weren't like chopping me up or something. Oh, Lord.
Oh,
so those are some fun experience. You ever have a horrible experience in any of the shows or movies you've done? Or somebody you work with that I'll never work with again? You don't have to mention names.
Name names.
See, I feel like I've been so lucky because I don't have any like crazy, horrible stories. I feel like everything I've worked on, I've just been so blessed. I mean, like doing
which is a good thing.
Working with Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller, like how cool is that?
Right.
Just fun. They're exactly how you think they are. They're just awesome. Snoop Dogg, worked with him twice on 2 movies, like as cool as you'd think he is, he's super nice and super cool. It's
how was the set for Hood of Horror?
It was great. I mean, I had my stomach blown up, and that was cool. Got to sit there with Snoop while he's singing he made up a rap song and singing his song, and it was a great experience. I mean, it was fun. That was a fun one to work on.
I'm imagining on that set they didn't hide the pot smoking.
Well,
or did they?
Well, no. I mean, I just remember like walk by his trailer, and it was like a cloud of haze around the whole trailer, and you'd smell it. But I don't know that I actually ever really saw him smoking. But it was definitely happening in the trailer.
Sure. Okay.
And now you don't have to hide it all, right? Like,
right.
All legal now.
Right.
Sure, he's happy about that.
I was gonna say I just didn't think he ever cared enough to hide it or anything.
No, I don't think so either. But he would be respectful, I'm sure, if somebody asked him.
Oh, sure.
But who's going to tell him not to?
Nobody.
No, who didn't want to say I smoked weed with Snoop Dogg?
Right.
I would love to. Yeah, that would be great.
I mean,
yeah. If I was a weed smoker, I would have, been able to probably say that.
Say it, yeah. Right.
It's not really my jam, but yeah.
That works.
It makes me too sleepy. I'd fall asleep.
I feel that sometimes.
So recently you're gotten into producing and directing currently.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't really do much of the directing, even though I am the director, because I had such a wonderful team around me, and I had my mentor who is an amazing director, but He was my mentor and writer on the film, and also helped produce. So he was there pretty much the whole time.
And we're talking about Wineville.
Wineville, yep, the movie Wine.
That's mentioned, which hasn't come out yet.
But definitely producing is my jam, 100%. Like that is, bringing everything together and doing everything from point A to point B. That has been really exciting, and being in charge of everything, so to speak, and making that dream come true of finally doing my own film, which is cool. But yeah, Wineville, we're editing right now, and getting it ready for film festivals and taking it out to sell it. So
cool. So you don't have a release date yet?
Oh no, we haven't even got our first cut. We literally just finished wrapping like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
If even that. Yeah.
I was going to say, it seems like it was just recent that there was pictures from the set on your Instagram. So
yeah, we just wrapped like mid-August. No, like August 9th or something was our last day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's
new.
Oh, no. Sorry. It was 2 weeks ago. No, we were doing something. That was something else. No, it was 2 weeks ago we finished.
Okay.
But yeah.
So when you got into producing, did you happen into it, or was that something you're like, I need to produce? And
well, I kind of
got it and loved it, or?
Yeah, I kind of helped produce my last 3 films.
Yeah.
And just on a, just producer side, where I'm just helping with things like getting locations and getting actors and getting, crew together and things like that. But it wasn't, my own baby. Whereas this is my own baby, start from the story, like the script writer and myself came up with the story together.
Oh, cool.
And he wrote a script from it, and then just went to town from there, and went, started from scratch, from casting to, finding the crew, everything, just putting everything together.
Okay. That part I didn't read. So you're part of the story. Where did the story come from? Any childhood?
Well, we had a location first. So we went to the location and just kind of got our juices flowing. We knew we wanted to do a thriller horror.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of started. Even my mom got into it a little bit and helped with story. And it's very fucking sick. And
I love it already.
Very demented. Okay. It's like a really fucked up family, and it's really sick. But yeah.
I love it.
There is some blood and gore in it as well, but it's really character and story driven. It's not just like a slasher film with this just
sure.
Not just that. It's like some really crazy fucked up story.
Well, you have 2 big horror fans right here.
Okay,
so
cool.
For sure. Very excited to I didn't realize it was that extreme, but I like it.
Yeah, it's very extreme. And we definitely push the envelope. That's one thing I'm starting with my filmmaking, is that I think outside the box, and I'm pushing envelopes, and I'm doing stuff that people don't normally do in movies, because like, you can't do that. You can't say that or whatever. Yeah. So I'm pushing the envelope. And even like the next one that I'm creating is like something totally different and outside the box of the norm as well. So that's kind of, I think, my niche of pushing boundaries and not being afraid to do what I want to do and really say what I want to say. So
cool.
It's gotta be very free.
I know your son was in what was it, Ace and the Christmas Miracle? Is he in this one as well?
He plays my son also in this one.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. It must be fun to
really
to work with your own son on
It
set.
It's really cool. And the best part about that is him being a kid actor, it's your own kid. So you can just say, "You're not done. Get your ass in there. You're working another 12 hours."
Right. No child labor laws when it's your own kid.
That's not safe for that kid. He can handle it.
Does he have dreams of continuing to act? Was that, or is he just kind of like, mom makes movies, it'd be fun to do?
He wants to be an NFL player. That's his dream.
Oh, okay.
But he enjoys, like, his thing is, I think he really enjoys going to school and telling the kids he's going to be in a movie and that kind of thing, more exciting. And I think that's what he likes. even though this movie, I have to like give him an edited version. He can't actually
Right.
watch the movie.
I was
It's
gonna
like,
say,
here's
can
the
he even go to the
version for
premiere?
here's the version for your friends, and it's 5 minutes.
I was
But
yeah,
no, he
That-
likes the stardom part of it, but that's about it.
sure.
Oh,
That-
heck yeah. Who wouldn't?
That is true. How
Yeah.
do you protect, like, any of the scenes that he's in? Is there any of it that you're like,
Any of the fucked up stuff?
yeah, right? Like, is there anything you like?
No,
Okay,
no, like I don't care about the fact that he kills someone. Like that stuff's fine.
yeah.
It's more like there's incest in the movie.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want him to even know what that is or even
Yeah,
think about that. And, so that's the main thing is there's rape, there's incest, that kind of stuff. I don't want him to see, or that's why when he was with his acting coach, he's like, well, did you read the script? And he's like, no.
Mom wouldn't let me.
Like, so I just gave him his scenes and that's it. Like, I didn't want him reading the script.
Right,
So
right.
he's only 12, so we'll shy him, at least I get another year or two before he, loses his innocence.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how
Yeah.
fun is that to go from, I mean, and obviously I don't know the time frame between them, but a Christmas movie
I know.
with a talking horse to this
I know, right?
incest-based horror movie.
I know. But that's what makes it so fun and exciting. You're not
Isn't
always
it?
doing the same boring thing, right?
Right.
And then after the Christmas movie, we did, I did, what was it? Which one did I do after that? Oh, the one with Vivica Fox. It was like a whodunit, like a
Okay.
mystery whodunit with Michael Pare and Vivica Fox. And that was fun because it was like almost, it's very dramatic and, like Clue, like the movie Clue. And then after that,
fun.
Yeah, that was cool. And then did Apartment 213, which was another horror film with like creatures and crazy things like that. And that was fun. I got to work with Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah.
Cerrone, big, MMA
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
And has that hasn't come out yet, has it?
I think that's coming out like any day now, actually.
Okay,
was
'cause that looked
Apartment 213. I think that's I think it already has distribution and everything. I think. I don't know, I'll have to look that up. I think
Yeah,
that should
sure.
be coming out any day. And then the one with Vivica called Twisted Vines. That one's probably gonna be out in a few months as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So did Twisted Vines have a different name?
Yes, it was called A Killer Toast before.
Yeah,
Did
you
you
messed
know
me
that?
up because I'm looking around. I'm like, what happened to? I have notes of Killer Toast, and then all of a sudden I'm looking around and there's no more Killer Toast.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? I really liked that name. I liked A Killer Toast. But I don't know why they changed the name to Twisted Vines, which that's a cool name too.
It is, yeah,
That's cool. Yeah.
and that's coming out. And that one you produced as well, correct?
Mhm. Yeah.
Sounds like there's some wine reference to that too. If we're talking like Killer
A
Toast
toast.
and Twisted Vines, there's a little bit of wine references. In
Yeah,
there.
that one was shot at Robert's Winery, actually. The Twisted
cool.
Vines.
Okay,
Nice.
And so was Ace and the Christmas Miracle was shot. Some of it was shot at his winery. Some of it was shot at my house.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
utilizing what you can.
Yeah, exactly. for
So did you
sure.
get to? And we're jumping. It seems like for your movies because you have so many come out, which is great.
Yeah.
To talk about them, but the Ace movie, did you get to work with John Lovitz?
No.
Or did he just do his voice
It's
later?
all voiceover, but John and I know each other. We've known each other for, 25 years. We met at the
okay.
Playboy Mansion. So
I was gonna say,
it was,
John Lovitz definitely shows up in a lot of Playmates
He does.
pictures. I see him
Yeah.
frequently. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's great.
I love him. He's a sweetheart. And yeah, so when I found out he was going to be part of it, I was excited and, and he knew that I was being a part of it. So it was kind of fun that we got to work together, but not work together. So hopefully, at some point we'll run into each other again.
I think he's hilarious. He's
He
one
is
of
hilarious.
my
He's
favorites from
great.
Saturday Night Live, and anything he's in, I'll watch just because
Yeah.
I think he's so funny.
Yeah,
And he
he's
did a
funny,
great job narrating that horse, don't you think? Like, he
Yes.
was just- yeah.
Yes, he's and that's the thing. I'm like, that's a perfect voice. He could be so many characters and voiceovers.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
such a
Distinctive. He has a distinctive voice for
Oh,
sure.
Yeah, it's him. So was the new
Yeah.
one, was Wineville shot at your place, your boyfriend's place as well?
Wineville was shot at a winery called Galliano Winery, which is one of the oldest wineries in all of Southern California. I think he's like the second oldest winery in all of Southern California.
wow.
And the the place is absolutely amazing. It's beautiful. And we were trying to make it look ugly, which was hard to do because it's such a cool, amazing place. But yeah, he's a family friend of ours. So we got to shoot there, which was just awesome. And he's one of the producers on the film as well.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So we want to, I know you got a hard out, so we don't want to keep you much longer, but
Yes.
so you mentioned something next on the agenda. Is there anything you can tell us about what's next? Or
well, I'm gonna finish the film, of course. So we're working on that a lot right now. But one thing I'm very excited about, which I'm surprised I'm telling you guys this because I didn't even know I was going to talk about it, but since you asked, and I never really knew much about it, and I always thought, oh, that's like a porno. But I'm actually going to be doing OnlyFans, which I've had some of the other actresses and playmates tell me about it that have been doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know much about it, but
we know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we've had a couple OnlyFans models on, and yeah.
Are you guys are on OnlyFans? Is that you said your models on OnlyFans?
Yeah, I know we look like we should be, but
we should be, but
there's
a niche for everything out there. Okay, we do
right. The beard,
yeah,
somebody's fetish.
Dad bods.
Dad bods.
I got
Did you say putts or klutz?
Dad bods.
Yeah, well, that's always, that's cool. That's in right now. But anyway, so I'm super excited about it. I got to get it started. So I'm probably maybe next week getting started with it, but I'm excited because it's a way for me to get back with my fans and have that communication going again. And so I'm excited. It used to be where I could do that and communicate on eBay and do that whole thing, but that just took too much time and it's kind of old school now, but this is a new way, I guess, to do it. So I'm excited. And my ex, before I couldn't do stuff like that and do sexy pictures because my ex-husband probably would have had a heart attack. But Robert's cool about stuff like that. So I could do some new sexy photos and, have that communication again back with my fans. So
that's neat.
Nice. I was going to So what can the fans expect? Not to get too grab, but will there be nudity?
There will be implied nudity.
Okay. All right.
Sexiness.
Perfect.
And, I guess there's a thing where you can go on and request certain things. So like if someone says, hey, I really want a picture of you in your Baywatch bathing suit, then they can do things like that, I guess. Or if somebody has a foot fetish, I really want to see your feet in these shoes or whatever, it might be.
You're going to get some requests that are going to blow your mind.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I think this would be fun,
All you can do is say no. Yeah. Or
challenge accepted. Bring them on,
Do you have your name? Is it just going to be Brande Roderick on there? Or
probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is great news.
Yeah. I was going to say, we can always promote that in the links for the podcast.
Dean's going to be like incognito saying, I really want you to put on a beard. Actually, that'll be Kevin telling me that. I really like a man in a beard, a woman in a beard.
Thank you.
Well, I sit across from it. I'm like, I might as well look at it in my dreams.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey,
so that'll be fun.
Don't judge.
Exactly.
We all have our things. So
exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Go ahead and promote anything you'd like to promote before we let you go. And
no, I mean, I just always keep up with me. Go on my Instagram. That's what I go on the most. So, I mean, I obviously have my Facebook, but I usually just go on Instagram and link that to Facebook. So that's where you can always click on something and keep up with whatever's happening, whatever's going on. That's going to be the best way to find anything.
Perfect.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
We'll put that in.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much for spending some evening with us.
Yeah.
Well, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Salud.
Thank you
Cheers.
so much.
To you.
Have a good night. And tell your boyfriend we love him because
I will.
He's fun to watch as well.
Next time we'll do it with him.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
We would love that.
Keep up with your YouTube. Yes. Those are fun to watch. So very
Air
entertaining.
fryer next.
Have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. The tavern is closed for now, but we'd love to have you back for more fun next time. Seriously, though, get your asses out of here.